The South Carolina Hall of Fame was founded in Myrtle Beach in 1973 to recognize and honor contemporary and past citizens who have made outstanding contributions to South Carolina's heritage, history, and progress.
Pierce Butler, like many of the Founding Fathers, served our state during the nation's formative years as a representative in the Continental Congress, the Constitutional Convention, as well as the United States Senate. However, the noted statesman's origins and destiny would set him apart from all of his contemporaries. He was born on July 11, 1744, near the village of Tinryland in County Carlow, Ireland. He was the third son of Sir Richard Butler, who purchased for his son an officer's commission in the British Army as the rebellion in the 13 colonies emerged.
Pierce Butler is one of the most interesting of South Carolina's revolutionary figures. He's sent over to the British colonies and serves in '68 in Boston to quell the disturbances there. He meets and marries a wealthy South Carolinian girl, and at that point resigns his commission, moves down to South Carolina, and quite quickly makes himself at home there.
When Butler married Mary Middleton in 1771, the union made Butler instantly not only one of the wealthiest planters of the state, but also one of the largest slave owners in the country. Pierce Butler found himself suddenly amongst some of the most influential figures of the American Revolution.
South Carolina is an incredibly important colony. On the eve of the Revolution, South Carolinians are the wealthiest people in the mainland colonies. And if South Carolina doesn't come along with this experiment in independence, there is no experiment in independence.
He became an officer in the South Carolina militia, helping to train and organize troops capable of defending the region against invading British forces. After the Revolutionary War, Butler aided in the reconciliation of the Loyalist population and re-established sound business relationships with Great Britain. At the Constitutional Convention in 1787, he was considered to be an outspoken and eloquent proponent of the rights of land and slave owners, while also supporting the notion of a strong central government as the key to political and economic security for all classes.
He has a huge stake when he goes to the Constitutional Convention in making sure that slavery as an institution is upheld and protected. He introduces the Fugitive Slave Clause to the Constitution. He also argues that slaves should be counted as full people for the purposes of representation.
By 1793, he owned over 500 enslaved African Americans who worked on the various rice and cotton plantations he owned throughout the coastal region. Throughout his career, Butler's political outlook varied, aligning himself as a Federalist, a Jeffersonian, and eventually an independent.
He's a bit of a political eccentric. I think if we had to encapsulate his political philosophy, it's that he wants a very strong national government for the purposes of things like defense and foreign policy, but he's also concerned about a government that would be trampling on the common man's rights.
By 1804, Butler had become a close friend of Aaron Burr and hosted the vice president in the aftermath of the infamous duel in which he killed Alexander Hamilton.
Burr sort of slinks off into hiding. He's indicted in both New Jersey and New York, and he goes down to hang out with his good friend Pierce Butler at his plantations in St. Simons, Georgia. He's sort of there for all of those amazing revolutionary moments. Then he serves in the U.S. Senate. He's quite long-lived, and so he sees a good bit in his life.
Butler retired from politics in 1805 and spent the majority of his time at a summer residence in Philadelphia. At the time of his death, February 15, 1822, Pierce Butler's estate holdings listed in excess of 1,000 enslaved people. He is buried in a family vault at the Episcopal Christ Church in Philadelphia, a National Historic Landmark.